going on, everyone, and welcome back to Too Much Tech. In today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the Mad Catz MOJO M1. This is a new mouse from Mad Catz that actually have their own decoder switches, so they're supposed to be a little bit faster, last a little bit longer. I didn't really see a big difference in my gameplay, but that's fine. As long as they work great, that's the only thing I'm really concerned about. And then honestly, this is like a lightweight G502, which I'm surprised it hasn't really been done before, but I'm glad that Mad Catz was able to take the first crack at it because this mouse is actually surprisingly good. So getting back to the first thing that I said, how this mouse is very similar to the G502. Pretty much only similar in the shape and the way that it flares out on the left side of the mouse, giving you that extra little grip for your thumb to rest on. But otherwise, it's very different. This is a smaller mouse than the G502. As you can tell, the G502 is very long and it's pretty big. So it's smaller, which to me feels very good because right at the end, this comes up high enough for like literally a perfect palm grip. And my hands, I think, are like 20 by 11 centimeters. So this hits absolutely perfect right at the back of your hand for a perfect palm grip. The G502 kind of does the same thing, but it is a bigger and longer and heavier mouse if that's what you're interested in. But this mouse is not going to have the same functionality as the G502. You're not going to have the infinite scroll wheel. You're not going to have all these additional extra buttons on the sides and whatnot. That's just, for me, it's a bit much. It looks like a transformer. This definitely does look like a transformer, but this is a smaller transformer. There is one RGB lighting zone inside the Mad Catz MOJO M1 as well, so you can't really do anything with it. It kind of just flashes in and out. Otherwise, I do wish that there was software to tweak a few things with this mouse. Other than the shape of the mouse clicks, again, these are the Mad Catz decoder switches. I don't know what those switches are based on or if they're fully developed in-house, but I'll drop a quick sound test for you guys so you guys can hear exactly how these switches sound. I think they sound pretty good. I don't have really any problems with them. So the feet on the mouse, there's a lot of like small mouse feet and they actually glide relatively smooth as well. I can't honestly say that I have a problem with the mouse feet. They're just black, so they're not the traditional, white PTFE feet like we have on a lot of other mice, but I can't really complain about the glide because they actually slide really smooth on pretty much any mouse pad that I've used. But I do wish that the design of the mouse feet was different. I do wish that there was a big mouse skate here and there, and then maybe one here, one over here. I don't really know if that's really worth it or not, but I guess, like the amount of mouse feet that they have is adequate, but I just wish that it was laid out a little bit differently, and I think that it would provide maybe a slightly better glide if they were laid out a bit differently and maybe a bit bigger. I can't recall the name of the sensor that this mouse uses, but I can't really say that I had a big issue with it, so I'll throw the name of the sensor on the screen right now after I've conducted my additional research. So far, so good. Everything is pretty fine with this mouse. I just wish that they had software similar to the Ducky Feather that I could configure my DPI and change a couple things with maybe the lighting modes, change what this DPI button does, because this DPI button is really big. It doesn't affect me in gameplay and I never find myself running into it, but typically I like to assign the DPI to like play pause or something, maybe even push to talk. I'll probably start using that eventually. I would like to use that for this absolutely massive and tall DPI button. So other than that, it's pretty good. If you like the size of the G502, maybe that would be a slight issue since this mouse is a little bit shorter, but personally I don't have any problems like palming this mouse. This is a really good mouse to try for palm grip. Maybe wait for a V2 and see if they're gonna add bigger mouse feet or whatever, but even if they don't, honestly speaking, I have very little that's bad to say about this mouse. The only thing that I would say that's kind of bad about this mouse, where you immediately need to paracord this thing if you are gonna main it, is the paracord. Oh my god, this thing is atrocious. And I thought the paracord on the Ducky Feather was not really that great. This is just worse. So like, yeah, it's not flexible at all. Mad Catz, try again. Other than the paracord performance of this mouse, I mean, you can put it in a bungee, it'll be fine. But I would paracord this mouse as soon as we can find a place to get aftermarket feet from. I don't really know if those are in production, but I hope that somebody is going to develop, you know, core pads, Tiger Arcs, Tiger R2s, whatever for this mouse, because I think that would help out a little bit, because this glide is already relatively fast. But we just need something else to replace once we eventually paracord this bad boy. Because then, I mean, we pretty much would have like a G502 mini perfected. Like, yeah. And I mean, just weighing in at like 70 grams too, I believe. Let's go ahead and pop the scale out real quick so we can get the weight on camera for you guys. I mean, this thing is pretty impressive. Not even 70 grams, it's 65 grams. What? 65.9 grams. That's nuts. That's nuts. This is a G502 Proteus Spectrum. This is an older one. Obviously, I haven't bought a new G502 because I don't like it personally. So this is more my speed. This is about 130 grams, and then the G502 wireless is a little bit lighter as well. So, but I'm just not gonna buy one because I would never use it, and it would live in a drawer, and it would be a waste of money, waste of $100, in my opinion. For me, maybe you like the G502, that's fine. But I think if I was to use a mouse that had the same shape, I would pick this instead every time. But alright guys, that's gonna be it for this video. If you enjoy, feel free to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. Thanks Mad Catz as well for sending out this mouse, and I had no idea this was even a thing. It wasn't even on my radar to check out, but I'm glad they sent it out because this is a nice and interesting shape that we haven't really seen in the lightweight space this year. So I'm glad they were able to send it out and get it to me relatively quickly. I highly recommend that if you guys are team G502 and you can deal with the mouse not having 3 side buttons, check this thing out. It's really good. But for the next version, definitely want to see 3 side buttons. I'll see you guys in the next video.